Keith Porter Jr. was a 43-year-old Black father of 2 girls. On New Year's Eve, he was celebrating at his own home, and like thousands around the country, we understand that he may have stepped outside of his home and fired a celebratory shot in the air, which many people do, and which is watched by city officials. His apartment complex is fairly large, and an ICE agent lived in that complex who went inside, put on his tactical gear, came back outside, and shot Keith Porter dead in front of his own home. The family has been told nothing. There's not been a word uttered by the mayor of the city. Almost no elected official here has said anything. We know that we've been demanding the name of the ICE agent who killed Keith Porter. We've gotten nothing. We've demanded an arrest. An arrest has not been made. We've made demands of the district attorney that charges be filed. He basically said he doesn't intend to do anything. And so the community is going to have to mobilize.
Can y'all not just have a little bit of courage and humanity? A child. A child has lost her mom. And y'all want to pretend that it is okay. You tell us things like, well, the immigrants are bad. And so we got to get all these bills because the immigrants are the ones that are causing the harm. They're bringing the crime. The mayor of Minneapolis told y'all to get the fuck out. Yet y'all are the ones, it is this administration that is bringing crime to their streets. That's what's happening.
It's the 3rd incident where somebody has dropped an F-bomb in this committee, including the video.
I'm sorry.
Including the video that we had to watch earlier.
Are your princess ears okay?
Is it profanity?
Well,
your princess ears
House of Representatives.
The committee.
You are about the fact that a woman.
Are you
the House of Representatives.
The gentlelady.
Are we offending your princess ears? Are they that soft?
You guys don't care about that white lady. You guys don't care about Renee at all. You guys don't care about that lady that lost her life, that got unalived by the ICE agent. You guys don't even care about her. The only reason you care is because you don't like Trump. Anything attached to Trump, you're not going to like. You're not going to like it. Because if you truly believe that ICE agents are so evil and you hate them so much, you would have hated them when Obama was around too. But you don't. You guys only hate them now because it's under the Trump administration, but you didn't care when 3 million people were deported. You guys didn't care about them. You guys just only care about it now because, one, you see everybody hopping on this train and you want to be a part of the show. You just want to be cool like everybody. You just want to blend in and you're not brave enough to have an opinion of your own. So you're just a follower. That's what it is. This lady should still be here. No doubt in my mind, she should still be here. But you liberals unalived your own kind. You guys pumped her head up so much and yeah, you can do it all for the camera, all just for social media. And now look, anybody know how the dog is doing? Where's PETA? Somebody need to call PETA. But yeah, and I just want to let you guys know that you guys don't care about this lady. This is fake outrage because if it was F-ICE, it would be F-ICE all across the board, no matter what administration it's under. It doesn't matter, Democrat, Republicans, independent. If you feel that way about somebody, you're going to feel that way about them all the time. You only care about this lady because everybody cares about this lady. And anything that is attached to Donald Trump, you guys don't like. Anyway, have a blessed day.
Oh.
We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a 3rd grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of every 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Now, this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
We are owed $104 trillion on the very low end, plus $735 billion recurring. This number does not include the cost of about 50 Black Wall Streets that were decimated, nor compound interest from 2017 when Sean D. Rochester's book, The Black Tax, was published, nor the cost of Black life, nor the cost of living increases, nor the war on drugs, nor the current day pandemic. The number I'm working with is for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives.
Good evening on the West Coast. Good evening in the mountain. Good evening in the central. Good evening on the East Coast. You know exactly who it is, family. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the reparationist perspective, bringing you those Negro freedom hot topics and making the case for reparations, making the case for deportations, and making the case for delineation, y'all. Absolutely, family. And making the case for weaponizing our votes, socializing our suffering, family. I had to come to y'all because the stuff I have been seeing in ScrewTube on X, TikTok, Facebook has just unnerved me in a way that I just couldn't hold it. I just couldn't hold it. Because I want to make sure we are staying on our square, that we are staying in our comfort zone, that we refuse to allow anyone or anything to disrupt the calm peace of our soul. It's very imperative that we stay there because there is a lot going on to ethnically cleanse us. You see melanated immigrants. I hear that Jasmine Crash Out Crockett is actually Haitian, which would explain a lot. And a lot of these melanated immigrants, tragically with the Negro vote, have been put in high places to undermine us. and to get us stuck on stupid to get out here and risk losing our lives. And I had to come to you because I need us to stay in our peaceful resting place right now and not get out here and do anything crazy. Plus, I want to really stress that both parties suck for the Negro. This is a protest vote that I'm pushing. And so there are things coming out where Trump is feeding red meat to his base that I want to share with you. He's feeding red meat to his base. No different than Joe Crow and Skamala feed red meat to their libtard base. No different. And I want you to be able to distinguish between the two. You see, his white folks are at war with each other right now. The libtards versus the repugnant clans. And everybody is doing everything in their power. They're investing so much money and energy and time to get the Negro out of their resting place, out of their comfort zone, to get out here and become the human bulletproof vest. And I'm saying the Demonrats declared war on Negroes when they opened these borders and dumped 25 million unvetted, unvaxxed illegals into our communities to ethnically cleanse us by economic genocide. I need you, when you hear different things from these melanated and POC immigrants, they are really trying to get you in a lather to risk your own life so that you don't get a chance to return home to your family who needs you. And so that's why I had to take a break from my work to get over here and record how I'm feeling and to show you some things. You may have seen already, but I got some things to say. Y'all know how I like to put my little thoughts together through my little videos and my commentary. And I need to show you, as well as I can tell you, why it is so imperative that we stand down, weaponize our vote, socialize our suffering, because they are happening to themselves, all over themselves. And we are the only lineage that's on the precipice of ethnocide. Shout out to Yaira, James Brown, Perry Dunham for sponsoring my last broadcast. I greatly appreciate your gifts and your support of my advocacy on behalf of Negro freedmen in this space. Thank you. Also, I want to greet my co-hosts who are already getting the chat live. Now, y'all know I'm being shadow banned, so I need y'all to share this, okay? Folks ain't getting their notifications. Folks is mad, writing me. I do the best I can to, notify people in the various spaces that I'm over here. But I need y'all to share, because family, it's a family affair. I see Root Trackers came into class. I just text her. I see Sheena 209. Thank you, my love. Vaparax -com 6801. I see you, fam. Pinky Wells. Thank y'all so much for keeping it lit. As always, I will be back to read your comments and share my insight. Let's get into it. We're going to get into it, y'all. This is rough, but it has to be done. I have to expose the Demonrats and the lamestream media for putting batteries in the backs of their libtards and show you what's going on and how this is really about trying to drag us into a fight that ain't ours. They out here crashing out over illegals who are illegally in the country on invitation by Joe Crow and Skamala, but Trump gets all the blame. Let's go. Let's go. Sharing my screen. Oh. Not in any particular order. I'm going to try, but y'all know how it is. I don't want to belabor. I love Ishmael. I learned today that she was actually the videographer. She put the video together to Cool Water's music of that video that I shared, that bookend the last broadcast, Time to Go Home. Yeah, she did the video. Cool Water did the music, and they're coming out again with something real fire. So I can't wait to feature the next piece of lineage music they produced together. But anywho, I love what she had to say. The irony of people protesting law enforcement, removing illegals who have stolen money from taxpayers, children, and literally have killed people. I shared with you on the last broadcast about these illegal criminals having raped and murdered our very own people. Okay? And yet, you've got these folks who are paid. They are paid to go out here and protest against ICE. They literally have rehearsals on how to go out here and protest against ICE. Back to the text. Y'all are calling this Itshe activism, and it's not. It's performative. Because you didn't march for them children they stole from or them people these savages killed. I couldn't agree with her more. I couldn't agree with her more. You see them totally crashing out over illegal criminals on invitation by Joe Crow and Skamala and looking for any opportunity to get a Renee Gold kind of incident to get the libtards in a lather. This is what it's designed to do, and I'm going to show you that right now. I'm not going to tarry. I just want to make my points and land and show you what I need to show you. Stand by. Next video coming up. Now, this is what I be telling y'all all the time. When the nation becomes California, where is the Negro going and with what? This brother echoes that sentiment in his own way. Let's listen.
Let me give you all a little secret, since nobody wants to say it out loud. Those countries that you fighting for, secretly, they don't even like you. Do you realize how many people talk bad about Americans? How many of them mock us? They criticize our culture, our lifestyle, our values, but they have no problem using us when it benefits them directly. And right now you got Americans standing next to people who are here illegally protesting against their own country. Make that make sense. Those same people that you're standing next to right this very moment, if their agenda does not work, they still have a country to go back to. You don't. You're tearing down the only country that will claim you alongside people. If things don't work out for them, they can leave. Most countries don't want Americans immigrating there. They don't have open borders. They don't offer the same protection, free speech, or opportunity. They don't even like you as an American. None of these other countries are lining up to welcome you in. People come to this country, as flawed as it is, because the opportunity that they get here, they would never be able to get that same opportunity in their country. So here's the question it seems that nobody wants to answer. If America collapses, if stability gets wiped out, if the system breaks, where are you as an American going? Because I don't know about you. I don't have another place to go. This is home for me. You don't fix a house by burning it down, especially if it's the only one that you have to live in.
No lies detected. No lies detected. They don't secretly hate us. You see it all over TikTok and X-Files and Racebook and ScrewTube. You see them openly hating us. You saw them literally go to the polls to vote for Trump in order that we may be deported. And now that they've learned that we cannot be deported, they are looking for us to use us as a resource. Even if you were to go to the continent of Africa, they only want to use us as a resource, akin to when they sold us into slavery. For whatever knickknacks, paddywhacks they could get. I hear from many people when they go over there how abhorrent the conditions are. You're not being given citizenship the way this government has used our 14th Amendment to make these illegals babies U.S. citizens. You're not getting free housing, free health care, free food, free cash aid, free job fairs. Countries that will force their constituents to learn English to make you comfortable. That's not going down. You got to look up these conditions that they're fleeing from. They didn't stay and build. They didn't stay and fight colonialism. They didn't do that. That's something that we did. We stayed and fought. All they get to do is walk over here or be flown on night flights by Skamala and Joe Crow. Those are the moneyed ones that ain't got to come under the barbed wire. Those are the moneyed melanated immigrants that are being flown, that were flown in on night flights with nuclear families and placed into our communities. And on top of the money they had to get on them night flights, our government is giving them our reparations to make them more American than us, while telling us they ain't got it. You must understand the difference between you and them. We are all we got. They are economic opportunists here to take and have put nothing, no sweat equity into this country. That we've been here since before Columbus. We are truly the foundation of this country. They've done none of that and yet want access to our repair and want our lives literally and figuratively. Let's keep going. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance.
Fucking police chief of Philadelphia said that ICE is a made-up agency. It's made-up police officers, not real, is what she was saying, basically. And her little punk-ass speech. Who do y'all think she was directing that information to? They think black people dumb. They want black people to get involved and get upset about this ICE shit. So let me educate y'all something, right? ICE is under the Homeland Department. ICE has been around since 9/11. After 9/11, they made ICE. ICE is not fake. Fuck with that mayor of Philly talking about ICE is not fake. ICE is real federal agents. Black people, do not attempt to do what that white bitch did because you'd have been got shot. You know like I know. When the police tell you to get the fuck out the car, you get the fuck out the car. Unless you some uppity black person and you some white liberal, I guess, I don't know. But when you black and you from the hood and the police get surround your car and they tell you to get the fuck out, what do you normally do? You get the fuck out. Because if you don't, what happens? They take you up out that car and they whoop your ass. And if they can't take you out the car because you put your fucking foot on the gas, they gonna shoot that motherfucker. And y'all know that. So stop playing games. What happened to that white lady? That's a common thing. That's common to me. And my reality as a black man in America, that shit is common. If the police say get the fuck out the car, you get the fuck out the car or you get problems. And if you push the gas and another officer gets hit, that becomes attempt murder. You cannot use that. Now they're saying you use the vehicle as a weapon. And they are going to open fire. Fuck is y'all talking about? So that police chief bitch is trying to get black people excited. Don't get gassed up, nigga. Because you will get shot, you will get locked up, and they will have no sympathy for you. There will be no marches for you, nigga. Fuck. Fucking police chief of Philadelphia said that ICE is a made-up.
So this is what I'm talking about when I say they're trying to incite Negroes to get out here and to crash out and lose their lives. These folks are crashing out over Renee. Folks that look like you and me. Like I said, we're delineating, but it ain't done yet. I don't know who these people are. But I know that they're paid extremely well to push propaganda and agendas for the Demonrats. This I know. We have been shot up for far less than what took place with Renee. And I have never seen the melanated immigrants, the congressional black carcasses, crash out over the loss of innocent black lives. Innocent black lives sitting on their sofa eating ice cream, wellness checks, getting their lives taken at a wellness check, driving while black, sharing with the race soldiers that they've got a gun in the glove compartment, losing their lives, walking home with a bag of Skittles, being murdered while in prison, while running away. You have never seen these demon rats, nor the mainstream media, crash out the way they're crashing out over Renee and making excuses for a mother of three that literally put herself in the line of fire. And the brother is right. It is designed to get us stuck on stupid and get out here and participate. And I'm saying, stand down. Stay in your comfort zone. Don't let it disrupt the calm peace in your soul. Let's keep going. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. Donnie on timeout.
The new Black Panther Party says that ICE should be abolished. Yeah, they caught up with the new Black Panther Party in Philadelphia, participating in a visual for old girl who lost her life in Minnesota. They were able to talk to one of the chairmen, Paul Birdsong. He said if he was in Minnesota, old girl would have never lost her life. Matter of fact, nobody would have been touched because they out here armed. Like back in the day in the 60s when they used to do those police patrol, making sure that officers could conduct lawful stops, they out here with the same weaponry and the same training. He said they've been trained by older members, old school members from back then. And yeah, they're anti-ICE and that's their agenda. I don't know where they're gonna go with this. Do you guys think that armed protesters will de-escalate the situation, or do you think that armed protesters will make matters worse? Because they sent additional hundreds of ICE agents into Minnesota on top of the thousands that they already sent out there last month. So I don't know if this new Black Panther Party have a new agenda than they did back in the 60s, but most definitely they're anti-ICE.
This is problematic. This is problematic. They not about that kind of life that way. They are not about that life that way. They are not built like the Huey P. Newtons, like the Eldridge Cleavers. What's my brother from Chicago? I see his face, his name won't land. They're not built like that. Sitting up here making these kind of threats when they are not built like that. Not one of them are willing to do time in jail. This is what I'm talking about. This is a kind of lip service that puts targets on our backs. These Demonrats, this new Black Panther Party, this George Soros-funded Black Lives Matter groups, the lamestream media, they're paying all that lip service, putting batteries in the backs of the Libtards to get out here, and they want our involvement because they know what our involvement does as the moral compass in this country. When we got involved, when Mr. George Floyd was murdered by the race soldier pig Chauvin, murdered me, Lord. When we got involved, the world got involved. That's the currency of the Black American morality in this country that keeps this country on its axis. But all these people are talking real big. But you don't see them out there ramming ICE agents with their vehicles. You don't see them out there blocking traffic. But they're saying things to incite the masses to get out here and do it on their behalf. And y'all already know these white folks get away with everything concerning these race soldiers. They have gotten away with shooting at these cops. They've gotten away with spitting on them, cursing them out, fleeing from them. They've killed officers in the line of duty. They get away with things that we would never, ever get away with. Let's continue. Hold on one second, Joe. I got to pull up some more. I had to make room. Oh, God. Stand by. I'm sharing my screen.
Ilhan Omar, who represents a large portion of that city. It's good to have you here.
I represent the whole city.
Yeah.
Thank you
Well,
for having me.
Thank you. The Trump administration is actively telling the public that journalists are misleading them. You heard what was just reported from the scene. What we know is that Renee Macklin Good and her partner were protesters. They were driving around Minneapolis. They were recording what some of these ICE enforcement officers were doing. And the local police chief says Macklin Good blocked the street with her car. President Trump has said that the partner was a paid agitator. That's the phrase he used. Secretary Noem alleged this was an act of terrorism. Given how much heat there is and the administration's scrutiny, would you tell Americans it's too dangerous to demonstrate and to go out and document as she was doing?
I think it is really important for Americans to record, to create the level of accountability and transparency that we need.
You mean the same transparency around that $9 billion plus that the fraud Somalis and the Demonrat enablers had stolen from the taxpayers? That kind of accountability and transparency, Ilhan?
What we have seen in Minneapolis is ICE agents oftentimes jumping out of their cars. These are unmarked cars. Oftentimes they're wearing a mask.
So you're going to sit up here and pretend that these folks ain't being doxxed, which is why they're masked. These ICE agents are not only supposed to put their lives on the line defending Americans, but these libtards are supposed to put their lives on the line for illegals in this country, impede on ICE officers doing their jobs, and these officers are supposed to go out here unmasked and not only put their lives on the line, but that of their families. That's what you're suggesting, Ilhan. This is what it's meant by putting batteries in the backs of libtards.
Approaching, running towards cars. They're pulling people out of those cars. Oftentimes.
So you want to complain that these ICE officers are pulling people from the cars, but you won't talk about the money being offered to them to self-deport. You won't talk about how the ICE agents get no cooperation from any of you demon-radically ran cities and states. Y'all are literally letting these criminals free back onto the streets after their crimes and murders, and they're illegally here. But you want to gaslight and take issue with ICE for doing a job that you all have made more complicated. Not just through your gaslighting, but not working in cooperation with ICE. You're putting all of your constituents at risk by not cooperating with ICE, and then you want to put a battery in the back of your constituents to get out here and risk their lives in the process. For illegal criminals and murderers. And let me be clear. If you cross the border illegally, it's a crime.
These people are citizens. Oftentimes, these people have documentation of their legal right to be in this country. And we know that DHS has lied repeatedly when it comes to these accounts. So it is even more important for there to be recorded.
When has DHS lied about these accounts? If y'all know, my co-host in the chat, if you know that DHS has been lying about these accounts, put it in the chat for me, because I don't know that part.
From eyewitnesses every single time these actions are taking place.
But do you see from the recordings that we see, is there anything that you believe was being done that should not have been done by Macklin Good? The administration says she was blocking the road. They are claiming this is an act of terrorism.
Yeah, Renee Nicole Good, as you hear her say, she's not mad. She's sitting in her car, peacefully waving cars to get by. This agent, as you see, gets out of his car, automatically starts running towards her, trying to open her door. She feels scared. She tries to turn the wheel away, and then you see the other officer, who can clearly see the car is moving, move towards the front of the car, which, if they are saying that he has 10 years on service and is trained, he should know that you shouldn't be trying to get in front of a moving car. And so it is.
Let's watch. Did that officer put himself intentionally in front of that car to get himself killed to justify killing Renee? Let's take a look. Stand by.
Driving by him. And here's something else too. If you notice, the ICE agent that was standing at the driver's side door, watch, he almost slipped right there. So she almost dragged him down as well, and left her wife stranded right here. Her wife couldn't get in the door because she had locked the doors to keep the ICE agents from getting in. And then some of the news media are trying to force a false narrative about what was really happening here. Like this scene you're going to see here on CNN, where they got this lady witness on here. And I'm thinking this lady's got to be lying because her testimony doesn't match any of the videos. And she was supposed to be right there.
So I was kind of like in front of and on the driver's side of the scene. And I could clearly see the agent standing next to the driver's side window. There were no agents standing in front of the car.
Really? There wasn't anybody in front of her car? What street was this lady on?
Agents were standing next
when
to
they
the car.
say, I know obviously we've heard the version of events that she plowed through him. Obviously that's not consistent with what you saw at all. But even when it comes to bumping him, is that word even fair?
No, not that I didn't see anybody get bumped. What the agent standing next to the driver's side window and who was yelling at her through the window extended his arm and fired his gun multiple times. At that point, the car did begin to accelerate.
You see, now this is so unbelievably false, because it was not the agent that was at the driver's side door sticking his arm in and shooting. It was the agent in front of the car that was shooting. I don't even know how they allowed this one to get on the air. And here's a new security cam video just released.
See the dark colored SUV driven by Renee Nicole Good. That's on the right there in the back. The surveillance video taken by a home nearby. Agents can be seen milling about near the vehicle, then converging on it. And then you see right there, the SUV begins to move, and that's when the shots are fired.
So now that we've examined all of the evidence, the big question here is who's really at fault? Well, those of you on both sides of the argument, I think, are going to be disappointed if you came here expecting me to choose your side, because I think that they are both wrong. I think both the ICE officer and Renee are both equally as culpable, and they both make mistakes. Okay, so the ICE agent, Jonathan Ross, if that is correct, his name, the big problem I saw was that he was using his cell phone to record. Why not a body cam? Why would you, if you're an officer, you have recording going on, or you should be anyway.
And that's the problem concerning Mr. Keith Porter's murder by that off-duty ICE agent at the turn of New Year's. They're lying about those incidents as well because there is no body cam. I'm not trying to get into the weeds of the right and wrong of it. I just want to show you how these demon rats will lie and spread propaganda. Ilhan just said the man ran towards a moving vehicle. I want to show you something else real quick from this video, because her own wife, who couldn't get in the car, said told her to drive, baby, drive. Just a second, y'all. There was a real good visual on here of where the officer was standing adjacent to that car. Like, it's horrible. So they want to talk about how happy and jovial Renee was. No, she was taunting these ICE officers. Hold on.
Is the last frame of the video. And essentially what she's done here, she is now backed up even further, getting ready to slingshot out of there. So if you look at this very snapshot right before she pulls forward, here's the officer in question, the one that fired the fatal shot. So he's standing here, and it looks to be...
Now, do you see where he's standing? Why would she take off at the behest of her wife? There's nowhere to go but to hit him in the process.
like he's maybe, what would you say, 4 or 5 feet away from the front of her vehicle. And then the other 2 ICE agents are standing here, and one of them has got his head into the window, and he's telling her to get out of the car. Now, keep in mind, by this instant in time, they've already told her 3 times to get out of the car, and she has not complied with that request. So at this point, she's actively about to evade the police. And even though this guy's hanging on to the window right here, and he's trying to open the door, but she had locked the doors, trapping her wife outside the van on the passenger's side. Now, this next clip you might not have seen yet because it was just released over the weekend. So this is the actual cell phone video shot by the ICE agent as he exited out of his gold SUV that I showed you earlier.
That's
fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
So there's the 3 shots. Here comes the crash. Now, some of the critics have pointed out that, hey, look, this was just a nice lady sitting in her minivan, and she posed no threat at all to this officer. And is that true? So there's a couple of things that I want to point out here for you. So number one is you can see as he's walking around the driver's side of her vehicle, she's smiling and she looks very, very friendly. Okay, but I can tell you, folks, over the past 15 years, I've watched hundreds and hundreds of police chases. I've watched a lot of them. And in a lot of these, they start off very, very friendly. The officer will be there standing at the window, talking to the guy, and they're joking. And all of a sudden, the guy just, boom, floors it out of there. So yes, the situation can change dynamically like that. It's safe until it's not safe. But as the ICE officer's walking around the vehicle there, it doesn't look like he's sensing any urgency there or that his life is in danger until it does become in danger. But there's 2 other things here that the ICE agent recorded here on his little cell phone there that I wanted to point out to you. The first one here is when you stop here and look at this freeze frame of Renee's wife outside the vehicle, take a close look at her, what she's wearing there. You see she's got that whistle. So apparently these 2 are professional antagonists, I guess you could call them, where they're armed for battle right now. So this is not people that are dressed up to be peaceful demonstrators like you've seen some of the false reports claiming, or that they were there to just monitor, because they were not there to just monitor. They were there to make noise. So for those of you who might not be aware, the purpose of those whistles that they've got around their neck is such that they will stalk the ICE agents, and whenever they see them pulling over somewhere, they'll stop all the cars and maybe they'll try to block them in. But they use the whistles to make a lot of noise to allow the neighborhood to hear it and give people time to escape. So they're essentially aiding and abetting an escape. And, I'm not going to discuss, the politics of it, whether it's right or wrong or whatever. I'm just saying this is what has been going on. Now, just take a look at this other short clip of another group of people doing the same thing.
We can play. My car's bigger than yours. Ice! It's ice! Please help me record. Get behind them if you have a car. If you have a car, please pull behind them. It's ice. Can you pull behind them? It's ice. They're trying to kidnap people. Please pull behind them. Hurry.
So this gives you a pretty good detailed inside point of view look from the perpetrator's point of view, what exactly they're doing with their vehicles.
Dumb bitches. You're not going anywhere. Can you guys block the road, please, so they can't get out? We have them blocked in, but we need more cars. Look at these losers.
Now, this is the way that we would have liked to have seen something like this transpire.
Continually see you following us, interfering with us, honking your horn, blocking our cars, you have a very high probability of making a really bad decision and being arrested today, okay?
Intimidate her. It's not legal.
I'm not.
The right decision.
Oh, then why are you giving her a warning? I'm giving her a warning to not interfere with what we're doing, to not make a bad decision today and ruin your life.
Well, bad
decisions. Thank you.
Funny.
But, one question I always had about this tactic is that what happens if they were there to arrest somebody who was a murderer or a rapist or a pedophile, like we've seen them try to do before, and people try to block them in? Now what? Now you just let a guy who was a really, really bad guy get away. The other question here is, what happens if one day you make a mistake and you box in the wrong car and that person has a gun and turns around and shoots you because he thinks that you're robbing them or something? There's a lot of things that make this a very high risk. This is not a peaceful demonstration type thing that you hear people reporting on. Yeah, this is potentially dangerous activity, as we can see here in this video from a different angle on Channel 5.
Well, I just wanted to share with you how these demon rats will sit up here and lie about said events and change the story to fit their narratives to get folks out here crashing out. Let me go back to the Ilhan piece and finish getting her together. It's not that much longer, but naturally I'm going to stop and weigh in.
Not acceptable for Kristi Noem and the president and the vice president to make these kind of judgments without there being a full investigation, even though we can see in the videos that have been produced so far that what they are describing is really not what is taking place. And so if they're saying that we shouldn't believe our eyes, then let the investigation take place before you characterize this mother of three as a domestic terrorist. Prove to us what documentation you have, that one, that she was paid, two, that she was agitating when we can hear her say she's not mad, she's not upset. She's clearly trying to wave cars to bypass her. And so it's just this level.
If she wasn't blocking the street and trying to block ICE, she would not have to wave cars to drive around her. Furthermore, how many times when our innocent are murdered by the race soldiers and the deputized, do these people come out and say, you just should comply? You just should comply. Why did you follow the orders? Why'd you run away? They fear for their lives. Even when our people are running away, the officer feared for his life. Kyle Rittencracker coming up into a Black Lives Matter protest concerning Mr. George Floyd, drives all them hours, like it's alleged that they did. It's alleged that they drove 3 hours to get over here to impede on what ICE had to do. and wants to sit up there and say he done murdered his own out of self-defense when he came armed and ready to roll. When it comes to us being murdered, May, it's always our fault, even when it's not our fault. You got these race soldiers still trying to get their verdicts overturned from the handful that we've actually been able to get convictions for. And I really resent how they're trying to make this into a George Floyd moment. George Floyd was minding his own black business, and they still ain't come up with this fake $20 bill that he was allegedly supposed to have presented to that immigrant of a store owner that ultimately cost Mr. George Floyd's life. What's that got to do? How is that anywhere near what Renee and her wife did? Blocking ICE, being told 3 times to get out the vehicle, then attempting to run away at the instruction of her stupid wife. Practically running over the ICE agent in front of her. How does that compare to Mr. George Floyd? How does this compare to Mr. Keith Porter, who was killed by a off-duty ICE agent on New Year's Eve when everybody's popping their guns? Lying, saying that he shot 3 times at the ICE agent that was off duty. We don't have no body cam. Let's continue.
Of rhetoric is unjustifiable to the American people.
Just quickly on that, you said accountability, and it's important for people to document what's happening. I just want to be abundantly clear, because the administration says that their officers are being stalked and harassed. When you say accountability, you are only describing recording like she was doing?
Yeah, I think it is fair for citizens to...
So, you want the ICE officers to be accountable for their actions. But you call these folks that interfere with their responsibilities and duties to Americans accountability. You see how they flip the narrative and redefine stuff? They're being accountable because they're putting their lives on the line to go out here and pretty much hijack the conversation about all the fraud that's being found all over the country in every demon-radically ran city and state. Because that's what this does, right? It takes the focus and attention from the investigation into these demon rats being in bed with all this fraud of all these taxpayers' dollars that have been stolen from the American people. These immigrants are in political power they're supposed to be protecting Americans, but they're inciting them to violence against the ICE agents. And they call that accountability.
Document what law enforcement is doing in their communities.
Yes, agents as well.
Well, there's also been violence against residents in Minneapolis.
There right now is a lot of heat on your state. Treasury Secretary Bessent called Minnesota ground zero for what may be the most egregious welfare scam in our nation's history to date.
No, that would be the state of California that's expected to approach $100 billion in fraud.
85 of the 98 people who were charged by the Justice Department with this welfare scheme are Somali. And you know this, the Treasury Secretary is probing whether any of the money was somehow funneled outside the country. He actually issued new standards. He's going to make it make someone disclose if they receive public assistance when they try to wire money out of the country, and he's lowered the bar for suspicious activity. What is the practical impact of doing that in the community?
It's just creating fear. What they are doing is creating confusion, chaos, trying to intimidate people from being able to exercise their regular, normal activities that they would. There is no justification in any of the things that they say. The 87 people that you've described as being investigated, many of them adjudicated, all happened under the Biden administration. There is no justification for this search. We know that ICE has the ability to conduct raids. There is no reason to have over 2,000 people coming in to our city and creating the level of terror that they have created.
Well, the administration argues that they have to do it because the state failed to, right?
The federal government and the state have been working peacefully together and have brought.
Excuse me, if they have been working peacefully together, how has this been going on since, I think the last I heard, since 2013? If the state had a handle on this fraud, how did it reach $9 billion and counting? If the state had a handle, why are these people still receiving taxpayer dollars while they're, being indicted for fraud?
Their attorneys, to their family members, not allowing access to information that their family members could provide.
Let me give you a little background. This is Ilhan and some other representatives down at the ICE detention center being denied access because the laws had changed and they were supposed to give a week's notice. And so I want you to hear Ilhan and more of her lies. Let me back it up just a little bit.
Than this, America.
Congresswoman
And I think the other thing that people should know is that this is a blatant disregard of the law.
Yeah.
We are seeing ICE pick up people, not allowing them to have access to their attorneys, to their family members, not allowing access to information that their family members could provide. We've also seen them being denied the ability to contact their members of Congress so that we can liaison and get the proper information that is needed and give comfort to their families of their whereabouts. This hasn't happened before. This is a brand new policy. And when people are disappeared in the darkness, American democracy dies.
Congresswoman.
And it is really important for every single.
So, American democracy did not die when Joe Crow and Skamala, the border czar, decided to leave the borders open and allow 25 million unvetted, unvaxxed illegals dropped into what's left of the Black community post-gentrification. Does it feel democratic to y'all that they are crashing out for illegals, criminals, Apis Ray, Erdermays to stay in the country over protecting the interests of Americans? Does that feel democratic to you? Or does this feel like outright betrayal and ethnogenocidal plans for us specifically?
Person in this country to understand that they are not only disappearing people who have committed crimes, who are in this country undocumented. They are disappearing U.S. citizens. They are disappearing people who have proper documentation, sometimes telling them that their documentations are wrong, keeping them for days upon days. We've also seen people be deported who have proper documentation yet to be returned to this country. Right. This should not be allowed in a country that roots in itself in freedom and liberty. There is no freedom when you are being detained and your government is being turned against you.
This should be appalling to everyone.
So, where is the data? I'd like to see the data on them deporting U.S. citizens, people with proper documentation, because that is what a U.S. citizen is. You see, they like to flatten this whole thing and try to lump illegals who are criminals. There are people who have been here 20, 30 years and have not become citizens. And so they are sitting up here trying to make a case for illegals who are hardworking, so they claim. These are hardworking people who aren't U.S. citizens because they never took care of their citizenship. But they're lumping it all together. Asylum seekers, temporary protective status, refugees, illegals, and immigrants. They just throw it all in one big pot. Because it is their intent to ethnically cleanse the Negro and the power of our vote. Let me stop sharing that. I got a few more to share to memorialize here. I'll tighten it up in the...
We do not blame the lawlessness of an individual on a whole community.
You don't? I've heard nothing but immigrants charge our entire collective for not only the crimes that we commit, but the crimes that they commit. They sure love to take credit when it's an accolade, but it's when it's criminal in its intent, they love to make that about flat black that part. But if it's an accolade, they proudly boast, I'm Caribbean, or I'm Haitian, or I'm Jamaican, or I'm Nigerian, or I'm Somali. So yeah, another lie. Y'all do that to the Negro collective all the time. One of us does something and it's the whole collective. When you talk about Negroes being lazy, you're not singling out the one lazy Negro. You're charging an entire lineage of people whose ancestors built this country with their lives. Let's continue.
What we also know is that there is not a single evidence that the president or his coolies have put forth that there are any single resource from taxpayers in Minnesota that has gone to aid and abet terrorism. That language is dangerous. That language puts the lives of Somalis not only in Minnesota, but across the country in danger. And if the president believed that and he had evidence, he would take people to court. So we are sick and tired of the president waking up one day and deciding to put forth falsehoods and demonize whole communities while the ignorant people that support him then take the lies that he's spreading and use it as a fact. We've seen it during the campaign where he said Asians were eating cats and dogs. We've seen his vice president repeat those lies. We've seen the media run it as a headline as if it was a fact. That is shameful. That is shameful. That is ignorant. It makes us look like a stupid nation that does not believe in truth, but traffics in lies. It makes the world mock us, and we are better than that. We are better than that as Americans. In this country, we do not.
but it's done all the time concerning the Negro. Do you ever see these melanated immigrants come out and speak this emphatically and passionately about the injustices that have been leveled at the Negro since Plymouth Rock landed on us? Or are we just simply being taxed without representation? It seems like all these groups under Trump are getting their ninja wake-up call, because they're quite smug and well provided for under the Demonratic Party. This is what I mean by when demon rats are in control of the country, the Negro freedmen are the only group in distress. And this is why you should stay on your square of comfort zone and relax and not engage and not get involved. Because 28% of us went out here and voted for this. Not in this heinous way, but as far as I'm concerned, this is by invitation of the demon rats who put batteries in the backs of their Libtards.
This is an all hands on deck process, and in Minnesota, we know how to protect one another, and I have been incredibly proud the way our neighbors have shown up for one another. It's been beautiful to see, and that kind of resistance is why ICE agents seem so angry and agitated, because they have never experienced the kind of love that we experience here in Minnesota. And we know that they are going to disappear one day, but we will be here caring for one another and carrying out policy with love here in Minnesota. This is an all hands on deck.
Y'all keep on. Keep on effing around and find it out. Let me bring up the next one, y'all. Stand by. Now, this one I'm sharing is about Trump and the civil rights and him gaslighting and feeding red meat to his people. Hold on, to his base. Hold on. You guys need to learn the difference. I'll be over, guys, to read your comments. It's just taking me a minute to get through these slides. I've got to share them and memorialize them here. Stand by. So you may not have seen this yet. This is kind of hot off the press, but I want to use it as a teaching moment.
You are in news. According to the New York Times, President Donald Trump said in an interview that civil rights era protections led to white people being, quote, very badly treated, unquote, openly embracing the idea of reverse discrimination as a driving force behind his administration's racial policies. Asked whether the Civil Rights Act and affirmative action harmed white men, Trump said, quote, white people were very badly treated, claiming some were, quote, not invited to go into a university or college, unquote, and were denied jobs they deserved. While acknowledging the civil rights laws accomplished some very wonderful things, he insisted they were also unfair in certain cases. NAACP President Derek Johnson said there was no evidence that white men faced discrimination by the civil rights movement, noting it was designed to address generations of racial exclusion, not create new victims. You are in news. According to
So, I wanted to use that as a teaching moment because I want you to understand what this protest vote is about. In the same way the demon rats told y'all to get out here and vote against Trump in 2020, and many of you did. I know my tribe did not. Many sat the couch, and then 28% of us went out here and voted for deportation, closed borders. You're going to be hearing a lot. They're going to do everything in their power to try to get you to turn on Trump so that you can run to the polls and put the Demonrats back in office. So I want to show you that because I'm getting you ready for that kind of war. It's going to be a lot of this kind of puckery going around. Trump is going to say some simple things, but you got to look at what he's doing, not necessarily what he says. Right now, it's Glacier Donkey fighting Glacier Donkey. All of these people are immigrants. 283 million of them are immigrants. 50 million of us, the majority that are foundational to this country before Columbus, before America was even named America. Okay? And so if you got to smooth yourself out, listen to some of the ways in which Trump has given us credit for building this country. Look at the way in which he is seeking to protect our 14A and get all these leeches up off our 14A because they are only here to take. They are economic opportunists, and they're only using us as the same resource we were being used as chattel slaves to build the country. They all want to be over here while they sit up here and got celebrities and politicians going to Africa to try to sell you on giving up the luxuries that your ancestors fought and died for you to have, to go over there for them to charge you 20 times as much as they would charge a local, for your Wi-Fi not to work most of the time, for your water not to run most of the time, set you up for poverty while they're trying to get into this country. They want to trade places. So brace yourself, because there will be times when Trump is going to say some niggerant shit. Okay? He's going to come out of his mouth and say things that are going to incense you. But always remember, it was the Demonrats that declared war on us and have been declaring war on us. It's the Demonrats that are weaponizing our never-ending Holocaust to lift up all these other groups while ethnically cleansing the Negro and our justice claim. Bear that in mind when he says something stupid, because he's bound to. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to smooth out his base because they're angry with ICE. Well, I don't know that his base is angry with ICE necessarily. The Libtards are. So it's the white Libtards against the white Republicans. So sometimes this stuff is like to bait us to get up off our comfort zone, to go out here and get in the middle of it. No, we will not. We will stand down in our comfort zones, and we will continue. Although he makes it very hard to go out here and vote in protest against the Demonrats. That could be third party if you're in a state that you can write yourself in. But the key is to get control of your local government. Because with the types of Ilhan in charge, the types of all these Latinos in charge out here, all you'll be is taxed up the wazoo for them to continue with the fraud while telling you no to benefits that should be used to help you pull yourself up by your bootless straps. Benefits that should be used to pay us the reparations we are long overdue. So bear that in mind when Trump says dumb stuff. Let's keep going. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Thank you in advance. I'm going to show you this one, but I got to show you another one before I show you that one. Just a second, y'all. I beg your patience. Here we are. So this is just a peek, another peek into how the lamestream fake news media gets in on the act of keeping the Libtards gaslit to go out here and put their lives on the line at the expense of what needs to happen for the Negro. We got to get this immigration out of here. We got to get these illegals out, and we've got to put a moratorium on legal migration. If the Negro is ever to flourish in the country of our ancestors, Trump is helping us. Contrary to the Libtards and the Demonrats and the mainstream fake news media crashing out over these illegal criminals. Let me share my screen.
This is what is really gives me great hope. People are starting to recognize from wherever they voted from, that something is terribly wrong.
I agree.
And it makes me
feel better.
Feel like I can take a breath, because for a long time it felt like that people just thought we were, just talking to waste air. But people are seeing things because everyone is affected by this. That young lady could have been anybody in this audience.
Well,
it does.
How could this have been anybody in the audience if the people in the audience know how to stay out of ICE's way? How could it be any of us? If she was home with her kids, she'd still be here.
Doesn't matter what, forget color, forget it. It could have been anybody. And if they can do this to her, they can do it to you too. This is what is really gives me.
So what they gonna do? Come up in our homes and murder us? Like the race soldiers been doing, Whoopi? It would not have been her. It wouldn't be none of them. If they would stay out the way, it wouldn't be none of them. If these demon radically ran cities and states would cooperate with ICE and let them come up in the prisons and get them out instead of the demon rats releasing them to the streets. If anything, our Americans are more prone to get killed by an illegal criminal driving with a fake CDL license. They're more prone to be killed and raped by these illegal criminals that are turned free from the prisons back into the communities. That's more prone to happen than what happened to Renee with ICE from her interference and trying to drive off at the behest of her wife. Let's continue. Let me show you how she had to walk some things back. This is unbelievable.
What is really gives me great hope. People are starting to recognize from whatever.
Sorry about that. We saw that one already. Just a second. Let me close that one out. Sorry about that. I got a different one to share, how she had to walk that stuff back.
Whoopi Goldberg is walking back comments she made on The View after suggesting immigration and customs enforcement agents were violent criminals. During the show, Goldberg initially questioned President Donald Trump's promise to target violent offenders, saying it appeared the violence was coming from within the agency. After a commercial break, she clarified she was not accusing all ICE agents of being criminals, but instead raising concerns about accountability and oversight. Co-host Sunny Hostin echoed that point, citing multiple shootings involving ICE agents with little public transparency. The discussion follows nationwide protests after Renee Nicole Good, a Minneapolis mother of 3, was fatally shot by an ICE agent, an incident DHS says was self-defense. Goldberg thanked Hostin for clarifying her intent, emphasizing the issue was nuanced, not an attack on all federal agents. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily news briefs.
Yeah. talking out the side of their necks. I guess they don't want any more lawsuits. Hold 1 second, family. Let me see if there's anything else I must show. And if not, then we'll get to your comments, making sure I've gotten through everything I wanted to share in this particular couple of hours with you. I think I'm good. I think I'm full. Did I share that one? I'm going to share this one real quick, and then I'm going to come to your comments. I want to fast forward to another niggerant Negro crashing out, Doc Rich. Stand by, y'all.
In my opinion, and it's awful. This lady was probably trying to go home, and she didn't make it home, and that's really sad. So
lies. This is what I'm talking about. With these niggerant Negroes sitting up here just lying off the rip. She was trying to go home. No, the hell she wasn't. She purposely came there in an anti-ICE protest and was blocking the streets.
The whole ICE thing it's a travesty. It's clearly.
How's it a travesty? When immigration and illegals alike hurt the Negro, which last time I checked, you were.
To me, we're attacking brown people, and I just happen to be brown.
No, you just happen to be Negro freedmen, to my understanding, unless somebody else knows something otherwise. Is he a melanated immigrant? He might be a tether. I thought he was one of us. I just heard that Tiana Taylor was up there giving thanks to the brown people. I guess since the Negro freedmen has started to delineate, now they want to call themselves brown. So maybe he is one of them, and I just don't know.
I don't think it should just be brown people who are upset at this. I think we all have to be. I don't care what side of this thing you are on.
Why should brown people be upset with this? Why are you referring to Black Americans as brown people? That sounds like some POC speak. People of color. Why do you want the Negro freedman, the Black American, to give a damn about this, when they clearly don't give a damn when it's happening to us? The most I saw them give a damn was Mr. George Floyd. But do you know how many lives have been lost since Plymouth Rock landed on us? I've never seen this level of outrage, but that one time. So why should we get in the lather? And we're not brown people. We're Black Americans.
Politically, what's going on in our country right now is absolutely wrong as far as the race stuff.
What's going on in our country is wrong when we voted for it. In the same way y'all niggerantly voted for Joe Crow, which is how we got here. Y'all want to pretend as if none of the racism just goes away when the Demonrats are in control of the country. Am I right? The race soldiers and the glacier and the deputized, they just stop murdering unarmed Black men, women, and children when the Demonrats are in control of the country. You're making this a race thing. After Joe Crow and Skamala allowed 25 million illegals into the country. You're making what ICE is doing about race and not about illegal criminals being in the country.
The politics, I'm not going to get into. The race stuff, I will, and it's just wrong, and we have to do something. But the only thing we can do right now is keep speaking up, because it doesn't seem like they care. And that's troublesome. Last thing I'm going to say, because I don't want to stay on this, but I could. I keep thinking about kids. And when I grew up, the president was always the role model. And I think about that and the effect of being a bully, lying. How is that good for our kids? And that worries me for our future. So,
can someone please, in the comment section, please explain to me how identity politics plays a role into this? How did this become about Black people? How did this become about us? This is the moment the narrative overreached. I mean, full stretch, my boy. Straight up murder doesn't leave room for evidence. It doesn't leave room for body cam. It doesn't leave room for self-defense. It leaves room for only one thing: outrage. That's it. And here's the part, here's the quiet part, so to speak. When institutions speak this confidently, people expect the truth to be airtight. And that's when something unexpected happened, actually, because America doesn't move as one block, right? No matter how badly the NBA wants it to.
It is not your job to fight against ICE. I'm going to say it one more time for folks in the back. That is not your job. To be clear, I support ICE. I always supported ICE, straight up. But for those who don't support ICE, it's not your job to get in their way. One, what you're doing is illegal. Two, what happened in Minnesota can happen to many others if you think it's okay to step in their way from doing their job. As a parent, I think it's wise for you to stay home. I don't care how you feel about them. Stay home. You want to be angry, mad, fuss, cuss, scream, holler, cry, mourn, do that at home. At least you'll be alive to live the next day. What that young lady did, and again, I hate that she passed away due to this event. I really do. My heart goes out to her and her family. But when I watched the video, I watched it from different angles too, to be clear. When I watched it the first time, I thought the officer was at fault. I did. Until I watched it again. And when she didn't comply, then she tried to escape from the ICE agent. She almost ran over an ICE agent. And then the ICE agent, did what he needed to do to save his own life. And now the media is outraged. I don't understand how people put themselves in that position and then they are no longer here and then the media is outraged. I'm blaming the media for these events that's happening too. A lot of you guys are instigators. You don't want to fact check nothing. You cherry pick and you brainwash people into thinking what you all want them to believe. And because of this method, you're seeing results like this. I'm going to say this to everybody. I don't care how you feel about ICE. Don't get in their way. You want to live another day, stay out of their way. These people are professionally trained to do what they do, and they are here to protect American citizens. That's including those who don't agree with what they're doing. They are protecting you too. You don't like what ICE is doing? Okay, oh well, stay home. What is the harm in staying home? I would never understand, mainly with white liberals, why y'all feel the need to try to save somebody. Stay home. Stay home, okay? No one asks for your handout. No one asks you to be anything to anyone, to be clear. Stay your behind home, okay? The Bible says, be angry, do not sin. You can be angry all you want, but don't act out because there's consequences to that. Big consequences. So like I just said, I don't care how y'all feel about ICE. You be angry or all the things, but you can do that at home. In the midst of your own atmosphere, in your own safe space, and you'll be able to live to see another day. Okay? All right, I love y'all. Remember that the Lord loves you more, but y'all, please stay home. There's no harm in staying home. Stay home. Stay home. Stay home, especially when you're a parent. Stay home. For real. Stop putting yourselves in these positions and then get mad when things happen to you. Yeah, that part.
Well, family, I'm going to get into your comments now. I'm going to stop sharing at that point. I think that that's a good note to end on. I feel better already. I got it out my system. I sound the alarm. And may those who have eyes to see and ears to hear partake of the fruit of the Spirit in which I've shared this broadcast, to keep us on our square, to give us a heads up of what's coming, to try to get us off our square. And you want to affirm daily and regularly, I refuse to allow anyone or anything to disrupt the calm peace of my soul. And get out here and have a good time. That's what you do. Get out here and have a good time. I'm going to try to find that video of that baby dancing in a video that I want to share with y'all to bookend the broadcast, okay? All right, let's get into it. We're going to get into it. These comments. My co-hosts have been keeping it lit. I thank y'all so very, very much. Crocodile tears, says Root Trackers about Crash Out Crockett. Crash Out Crockett. Sheena says, why? While a Black American be out there caping for immigrants, I will not sacrifice my life for them. I want them to be deported. Sheena 209, we are in great company over here at the Reparations Perspective. I want them gone too. They're ungrateful ingrates, and I want them all out of here. And I want our reparations, our protections, deportations, and delineation. I'm just going through and cherry picking so we can get out of here. I can do our declare and decree and pray us out. Yes, Sheena, she should have stayed home with her kids instead of interfering with ICE doing their job. I concur. Hi, Pinky Wells. The people that come here are not the people that built our America. If they are, why didn't they stay home and build? That's what I wish they would have done, and that's what I hope they do. And it really blows my mind the way they wave their own country flag and spit on America, but fight ICE to leave. Because they are here to drain the resources and money that belong to us. That's exactly correct. And our government is complicit, because their pockets are being lined when they assist them. That's why you have to be wary when they start coming out with programs. These programs are fronts and covers for hijacking the taxpayer while denying us, especially those of us that are in need. You deny them the benefits because you're giving it all away to these illegals and these immigrants at the expense of the taxpayer. We're the ones paying the taxes while they're the ones that are on the welfare. Or they're getting the SBA to set up businesses, fake and otherwise, in our communities while we're being denied those loans. They're giving an American way of life with what should be ours. So these glacier donkeys robbed us the first time when they bought over the Ellis Islanders. Now they're doing it again, bringing in all of these others from all over the world, the Caribbean, Africa, everywhere, to bury us. And the Demonrats were most instrumental the last term with Joe Crow and Skamala. 25 million. Had Skamala won, Skamala and Tampon Timmy won, it'd have been the end of the line for the Negro. Sheena says, Yaira, I wouldn't even go out and protest for her. This was preventable. Absolutely. But they out there getting it in. I told you they're being paid and they're being scripted. I have been protest voting for years. No immigrants or their children. Thank you, Pinky. I just started protest voting after 2 terms of Barack Obama. So I guess better late than never. Yes, it's different because Trump is being used to control the white supremacists with the guns to control the Civil War. Vaporex, I don't know that there would be a civil war. It would take a lot more. These protests aren't that big. They're made to seem that big, but this is not happening in the numbers. It's not even happening in the numbers of those of us that protested against the murder of Mr. George Floyd. So I don't think we have to worry about a civil war, honestly, because lots of folks voted for Trump to do exactly what he's doing. It's only the libtards and the lamestream fake news media that are really in bed to try to gin up a civil war. Not for Americans, but to protect illegal criminals. And to have their politics overwrought with immigrants. Some are even illegally here. Oh, Paper Rex. I haven't seen your beautiful face in about a year. I digress. Oh, thank you, fam. Well, I usually come live on Sundays, but, I said in the namesake of getting these broadcasts out, I got to come podcast style because I'm not always camera ready. Generally, after church, I'm already dressed, my makeup is on, and yeah, it's easier for me to do it that way. So yeah, tune in on Sunday. As a matter of fact, I'll be on a different broadcast Sunday. I'll make sure I share the link with you guys. Yeah, I'm going to share it. I may get permission to stream it from my own StreamYard. Let me ask. But yeah, I will be live Sunday on a different person's broadcast. I'll keep you guys posted about that on Saturday's broadcast, okay? I'm planning to come back Saturday. The protests in Minnesota are circled around the hotel where ICE is staying, making noise and saying F ICE. Yes, Yaira, I was looking for that video where they literally ran the cops off. I mean, the cops, they had too many of them out there. The cops, they abandoned the mission. And they're out there not just disrupting ICE, but the hotel guests too. You're correct. Let's see here. They are full of, they are using ICE as a shield. If they were serious, they would put Dems in jail for felony aiding and abetting. We are stuck between 2 groups of white supremacists, and they both war. Yes, you're absolutely correct, Vaporax. It's all political theater because I don't understand with this level of fraud why these governors and these mayors aren't going to jail. And I just think it's taking a longer time to even indict them. I don't even know if they will be indicted. I think it's all about political theater to discourage you from voting Demonrats. Who knows what the motivation is? I know a lot of what's happening abroad, it's about stealing more resources. But I do know I'm glad to see the war being waged on all these other groups besides us. Yes, I am. My misery loves company. If all that happens, those foreigners will still have it better here than at home. We will be the only ones suffering. You're absolutely correct, Pinky. That's why I'm pushing my Negro Freedmen protest voter strategy to try to and do everything in my power to defeat the Demonrats during the midterms and the next general, the next midterm, the next general after that. Yes, I'm working. That's why I came back, was to make that case and to try to win more than 28% to defeat them at the polls come the midterms. We can't allow them to get the House and the Senate. That's going to upend us. So I'm leaning in. And a lot of our people go there and don't come back alive. Yes, I've heard about those incidences, Pinky, where they've been going to Africa and waking up dead, child. I've heard a lot of women, a lot of single Black American women with resources are going over there and getting caught up with those African men, and they're waking up dead. Okay, so you're absolutely correct. It's not safe for us. Sheena says, I was listening to a panel on TikTok earlier, and this African said, we are next. We have never had a break. They are now getting their wake-up call, and I am enjoying the show. That makes two of us, Sheena, 209. There's quite a bit of Black Americans who are seeing all these groups get their wake-up call, and literally, they some of these fools went to the polls to vote for Trump because they thought that we would be deported first. That's how ignorant they are. They thought it would be us. They don't even know our history. They're learning something new every day when Trump opens his mouth about who we are. And he ain't even scratched the surface. So, yeah, they're constantly saying we're next as if that's what they're trying to speak into existence. But it's never stopped being us. I just shared at the top of the broadcast about Mr. Keith Porter, who was gunned down on New Year's Eve by off-duty ICE agent. They ain't never stopped lynching and murdering us. So, you know, this is the beauty of how we're built. We're Teflon tough, baby. We know how to deal with these glacier donkeys. They're the ones that are caught off guard because they thought somehow marking the census white, which only benefits the true whites, somehow gave them privilege. That's the privilege they want to be in bed with. But these true whites are showing them, you not us. Your marking whiteness only helps our collective to rob more resources from the Negro. We're going to put flat black on them, but we're going to make all of y'all be able to identify as white because we know you got colonized minds, and we can use you to keep the resources coming to us so that the Negro can be robbed and denied and stay on the bottom. They haven't contributed anything but said they built America. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They love revisionist history, sweetheart. Yeah, these immigrants sat up here and listened to Dummy Donnie in New York say when he won the mayor's race that immigrants built New York. Yeah. Thank God we know our history, and that's why we have to keep it alive, and that's why we have to teach our children, because they are seeking to erase us and replace us. If we don't continue to speak up, like Zora Neale Hurston said, they will kill you and say that you enjoyed it. He's right. If Renee was one of us, everyone would be having different conversations. Honey, ooh-wee, Pinky, honey, they would just be like, well, you should have complied. It'd have been a whole different conversation. It would have been the usual conversations when one of us, unarmed Black men, women, or children, are executed by the Glacier Donkey Race Soldier. It would have been that conversation per usual when it's one of us. That's why it's fake outrage. Selective fake outrage. Interesting. White supremacist repugnance would justify it either way, white or black. Oh, yes. Americans, they want you out. They want you out there so they can stand behind you. Absolutely. Hey, Big Rich 1123 sister is on fire tonight. Trying to save the line, family. Trying to save the line. What's up, Satra Del Reed 360? I see you, fam. Ilhan is definitely against white supremacists, dear. It's perplexing. It ain't perplexing. No, she's not. She's a Crayola wanton white supremacist with 3 Ks, family. Most of these immigrants and illegals are Crayolas. They're in bed with this. She's married to a whole glacier donkey. She went from zero as a refugee to now being worth over $30 million. Her white husband has some front company. You got to go back, fam, and listen to my previous broadcasts on this stuff. I've been in Minnesota so long, I feel like I live there. No, these are Crayola wanton white supremacists. They are more in bed with that than they are with the Negro. You better recognize, baby. They were, They were driving around looking for trouble. Yes, because they're on script. Does Ilhan support reparations? None of these immigrants support reparations. Have you ever heard her speak on reparations? That's what I would ask. Have you ever heard any of them speaking on reparations? What they will do, though, is get on our task force and every democratically ran city and state to run interference. You don't hear these immigrants speaking on reparations. That's why we ain't got none out here. Ours was the first task force to complete. These immigrants were like, no, they run California. I want to say it's 15 million of them, Latinos, to 2 million of us. No, they don't support reparations. None of them do. Because that would mean somebody would have to trade places, because capitalism requires a bottom caste. And this country decided when Plymouth Rock landed on us that we would be the bottom caste. And they've been working to that end ever since. Law enforcement pulls American criminals out of cars. Why would illegals be treated differently? Yeah, this is what happens when you've got that kind of privilege. You don't expect it to be turned on you. You're in denial that it will ever happen to you. She is what happens when you allow foreigners in your country's politics. Absolutely. And they should not be allowed in our politics. Will we be allowed in theirs? Could I have a high office in any one of these countries in the world as a Negro woman? Could I dare come over there and take over a whole entire city with my people to vote me into office? Always remember, this is Obama's doing. He was the one. These refugees came in on his watch as he established the Office of New Americas with reparations that belong to the Negro while getting rid of the Negro identifier. Yeah. The car started moving after he was standing there. Exactly. But you heard Ilhan lie and say he ran towards a moving vehicle. Just ask the one with the most decrement, dear. I don't know what that means. No one is stepping in front of a moving vehicle. Right. But you heard her. How about she shouldn't have been there? Come on, Trenton Makes 8. Welcome to the live, fam. They need to be put in jail for aiding illegals, or else this is all to start a war. I told you, leave these white supremacist politics alone. Yes, family. They do need to go to jail. And that's the problem. When you got white privilege, all they do is wail and gnash their teeth and get right back out there. This is ridiculous. Did y'all see Ilhan without her turban? No, I wonder what that's like. Text that to me, yacht. Police do this every day to U.S. citizens, right? Especially Negroes, okay? Democrats working hard for illegal immigrants as per usual with the help of the Negro vote. 90% of our lineage voted for Skamala. 90% of black women voted Skamala. 77% of black men are the people that made it to the polls. A lot of our people stayed home, which I don't agree with. I think you should weaponize your vote and socialize your suffering. Hopefully I can win some more people to my side, more than 28%. But to my knowledge, I think it's a lie, but they say 8% of black women voted for Trump and 20% of black men. So I think it's more than that, but stop lying. I can't stand this woman. Go back to Somalia. That's right. Get them out of here. Hard working on our tax dollars. Yes, Trenton, we can't say that word. And tired of immigrants. We don't want to bring sickness into our experience. Woman, woman, who is we? You're an immigrant. This is what I'm talking about. She's not part of we. What's up, the red state, blue state? Thank you for joining the live. Let's see here. Democrats in office, these immigrants were talking crazy to us. Yes, but you have to understand, Negroes have gotten caught in a perpetual cycle of lesser of two evil, in a perpetual cycle of identity and respectability pie tricks. That's how the immigrants have taken over the congressional black caucuses. So Negroes have pretty much given the immigrant agency over them and then wonder why they still on the bottom. I'm glad Trump is in office too. And if he runs a third term, I'll be voting for him. Now, I won't be voting J.D. Vance. I'll probably vote a third party at the top of the ticket because we can't write in out here. I'll vote a third party to make way for whatever happens on that front. But locally, oh no, my ballot bleeds locally. Derek Johnson is going to run with what Trump said, not falling for it. Listen, the NAACP don't represent us. They're backed by Jewish money. They don't represent us. They're not fighting for our reparations. They're not fighting for our delineation. As a matter of fact, like I've shared on previous broadcasts, Mark Morial from the National Urban League sat up here and impeded our progress on delineation after 20,000 of us showed up to the OMB meetings for over a year. He came in, Johnny Lately, and told the decision makers that if they unflatten blackness and give us the delineation we seek, that it would hurt the feelings of the immigrants. They 4 million in the country, we 50 million, but the OMB sided with him because there's a bigger agenda at play. Like I told y'all, I was in a meeting when they all but said, and I'm paraphrasing, that our numbers stay the same around 13, 14% because as they ethnically cleanse us, they are replacing us with nuclear families, melanated with money. Those are the immigrants, our replacement class. I was in the meeting when they said it. I'm not gaslighting you. So that's why when Mark Morial came in after all the meetings had taken place and was able to have a stage with the OMB, they made it about all this dumb shit. Like, oh, you guys are so undecided how you want to be identified. You want ADOS, you want FBA, you want Negro, you want. They made every excuse in the book because the bigger agenda is to erase and replace us and our justice claim, fam. Remember, it's the Demonrats who raised taxes on Black Americans in Chicago. Remember, Gavin Newsom vetoed reparations. Remember, the Demonrats voted to honor Charlie Kirk. Trenton makes 8. Where you been all my life, family? First time I'm seeing you in the live. You need to come back. Baby, you said a word right there. You must remember these things and all of the injuries, all of the intentional neglect of the Demonrats concerning the Negro freedmen who has been voting for them and giving them several trifectas over the course of 70 years. Their most loyal voter base, they don't even breathe a word about us since Obama. All they do is use us to ethnically cleanse us. They use our votes to upend us. They create our problems, then use our votes as a solution to ethnocide the line. Right, Whoopi? Like how Sonia Massey was killed in her house from a race soldier. Come on, family, speak truth to power. Why are they asking Doc Rivers about Minnesota? They were asking the NBA. Is he a part of the NBA in Minnesota? I think so. I was just borrowing. I think that was at Kingdom Reacts. I think that was his video. I look at so much stuff, and sometimes I have to use my fellow vloggers' videos because I can't find the rich videos they're sharing. I'll be searching high and low. It takes a lot of time to fish those videos out to try to paint my story. And oftentimes I tell it out of sequence because I just don't know how to get my videos lined up that way. And once you open up too many of them, they just get lost, child. So anywho, Doc Rivers was a part of his NBA. The NBA. Now, this is the rub in what I meant to say. You want to condemn Colin Kaepernick and not allow him to play in the NFL for taking a knee against the Glacier Donkeys executing unarmed black men, women, and children. But Doc Rivers can come out and speak as if we should all get involved and give a damn about Renee, who impeded on ISIS progress down there and trying to get the illegals out of Minnesota. See, this is the kind of stuff that enrages me. They always want to put someone that looks like us out front to tell us what we should be doing, to tell us what we should give a damn about. Don't give a damn about yourself. Make sure everybody's on your tits so you ain't got none left for you and your line, for you and your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandkids. We need you distracted with everybody else's issues, giving zero damns about your line so you can stay on the bottom. That's the subtext. I'm not upset at all. Well, good. So Doc wasn't wrong when segregationist Joe Crow, these are my words, Trenton didn't say that, let in illegal immigrants, placing them in black neighborhoods? FOH. Ukfe out of here. I did want to go back to one of these comments because I wanted to say something about it. Oh, maybe I'll keep going. Maybe it'll come back to me. Yep. Oh, yes. Thank you, God. He gave it to me. Okay, so to your point, not just placing them in black neighborhoods, but to someone's earlier point about how it might have been you, Trenton. Lord knows. Charge it to the hour, honey. I just be losing my thoughts. Okay, but yeah, they are literally raising the property taxes on what's left of the black Chicagoan to pay for their erasure and replacement. And if they can't pay those high property taxes, they're going to lose their properties. They sat up there and told them they could put it on a payment plan. This is what the Demonrats are doing to the Negro all throughout the country, which is why we suffer the highest rates of homelessness, evictions, unemployment, underemployment. And that's why I stay on their heads. I stay on their necks, figuratively. Because we are out of time. Hi, Jamak 8. Welcome to the live, fam. Yep, stay out of this. Black Americans don't gain anything putting on the cake for illegal immigrants or immigrants at all, truth be told. He's a coach for the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know how. Yeah, but this is a part of the agenda, family. You don't know whose pockets are being lined to come out here and paint a narrative to get us up off our couches. If there's any time that you're supposed to be on your couch, this is it. This is a time to sit it out, okay, and have yourself a good time with your families, with your friends. Enjoy yourselves. Sit back, eat your popcorn, sip on your hot pipe of tea, and join the reparationist perspective whenever she turned on the lights, okay? Let's see. Don't forget about Cop City in Atlanta. Demonrats back that move. You damn Skippy, they did. Anything, family, to ethnically cleanse us. Okay. I appreciate you, co-host. I appreciate you, co-host. I really, really do. Y'all kept it lit. Y'all kept it engaged. Y'all helped me to bring up more talking points, and I couldn't be happier to have you. The moral, what's the moral of the broadcast? I always give y'all the moral of the broadcast. The moral of the broadcast is to stay resting. Affirm regularly when Trump says stupid stuff that you refuse to allow anyone or anything to disrupt the calm peace of your soul. Okay? That's your square. Let them tear each other up. Let them, what's that phrase I love to say? Let them chew each other up, spit each other out, and pick their teeth with each other's vertebrae. Stay out of it. Stay resting. Don't get involved. Don't allow them to bait you. Don't do it. With that being said, thank you, Big Rich 1123. I'm a land on your comment as I state my declare and decree, and I'm going to pray us out and bring up the outro, and then I'm going to play a little funny bit of a baby dancing, because that's the spirit and the energy I want the Negro freedmen to revel in right now. Let them go to war, and let us stay out of it. Keep our lives and keep our peace. Amen? Pass the plate, y'all. Pass the plate. Okay. That's it. I just had to get that up and out of me because it was very concerning. As you could tell by the narrative I put together tonight, it was very concerning to see this stuff spinning. I had to just break from work and come to you. It's very important that I encourage us to stay in our happy place, because, damn it, we deserve it. We have more than earned the right to sit on our laurels and let this godforsaken country fall. Let them crash and burn, not us. I declare and decree that the highest form of righteous judgment is served over all corrupt beings of the government, judicial system, including the police officers, CPS Child Protective Services, judges, attorneys, FBI agents, the CIA, the Demonrats, the repugnant clans, and all personnel working for the U.S. corporation with 3 Ks with wicked intentions. All hidden corruption and agendas are now destroyed forevermore in spirit and in flesh, in sleep and in awakened states, across all timelines, realms, and dimensions, known and unknown, family. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever Negro freedmen and its allies are, God truly is, because, family, you are the face of God. Yes, you are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. Until we meet again, family, I'm looking at Saturday. I want you to make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your evening and work week. And until we meet again, family, I'm believing for each and every one of us a ton of peace, love, reparations, delineation, deportations, family. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your time. I appreciate and love you more than I've got the words to convey. Good night, y'all.